The moon stands at its last quarter, and something profound is unfolding. A major reset, one that will alter the energy around you in ways you cannot yet see. February 2025 is not just another phase in the lunar cycle. It is a crossroads, a threshold between what was and what will be. This is not a subtle shift. It's a turning point, the kind that shakes the foundations of your path, urging you to release, realign, and reclaim your power. Some doors are closing, but only to reveal the ones that were meant for you all along. Resistance will feel heavy, but surrender, true surrender, will unlock the clarity you've been searching for. You're standing on the edge of something big. The question is, will you fight against the flow, or will you allow this cosmic reset to guide you toward transformation? The last quarter moon is more than just a phase. It is a cosmic threshold, a moment of reckoning between the past and the future. Picture it as a dimly lit corridor where the echoes of old choices linger and the whispers of new beginnings call your name. This is the moon's final descent before renewal, a sacred pause before the new moon sets the stage for rebirth. In the language of the cosmos, the last quarter represents release. It is the final push to let go of what no longer serves you. Old attachments, outdated beliefs, and lingering doubts. This phase demands their surrender. Just as the moon sheds its light, you are being asked to strip away illusions, revealing the truth that's been buried beneath layers of hesitation. But why now? Because February's last quarter arrives with a force unlike before. It is infused with urgency, a rare cosmic alignment that amplifies internal shifts. You may feel a pull, a restlessness deep within, urging you to clear space, to prepare for something greater. The energy is precise, like a celestial scalpel, cutting away all that distracts you from your highest path. The universe is speaking. The question is, will you listen? You've been carrying so much. Unspoken thoughts, unfinished goodbyes, the weight of choices made and those left hanging in uncertainty. Life moves forward, but certain emotions seem to linger, like shadows stretching across time. And now, under this last quarter moon, those echoes are growing louder, demanding your attention. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you'd let go of a person, a habit, a regret, only to find yourself tangled in the same cycle? It's easy to believe that moving on is a single act, a one-time decision. But in reality, it's a process, a gradual unraveling of everything you once clung to. Maybe you've been holding on to a version of yourself that no longer feels like home, a dream that once felt right, but now feels distant, or a relationship that lingers in your mind, even though your heart knows it no longer fits. The last quarter moon doesn't just suggest release, it demands it. And yet letting go is never as simple as it sounds. Picture an old book, its pages worn from years of reading. You know the story inside out. You've memorized the twists, the turns, the way it makes you feel. And even though you know the ending, you hesitate to close it, as if holding on to it will somehow change the story. But the truth is, you can't rewrite the past, and rereading old chapters won't bring a different conclusion. The only way forward is to turn the page, to step into the unknown with the faith that the next chapter holds something better. So ask yourself, what are you still holding on to, even though you know it's time to let go? What narratives about yourself have you repeated for so long that they've become your truth, even if they no longer serve you? This is your moment to pause and reflect, not in regret, but in recognition. Every choice, every detour, every mistake, it has all led you here. And here, is where the real transformation begins. The last quarter moon is a mirror, showing you what's been hiding beneath the surface. It's not about erasing the past. It's about making peace with it. Growth isn't always comfortable. In fact, it rarely is. But what if the discomfort you feel right now is simply the tension before the breakthrough? What if this heaviness isn't a burden, but a sign that you are standing at the edge of something new? You don't have to have all the answers today. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. All you need to do is be willing to loosen your grip, to open your heart, to trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Because the past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. And the future, that is still yours to create. Change is never easy. Even when you know it's necessary, even when you feel the weight of the past holding you back, there's still that quiet hesitation. What if I'm not ready? What if letting go leaves me with nothing? But the truth is, holding on to something that no longer serves you is like carrying a bag full of stones. It doesn't just slow you down, it exhausts you. And at some point, you have to decide. Will you keep dragging the weight of yesterday, or will you finally set it down and step forward? This last quarter moon is a powerful invitation to do exactly that, to stand still for a moment and recognize what you've been clinging to out of habit, out of fear, out of comfort. There's no judgment here, only awareness, because awareness is the first step toward transformation. And transformation isn't about forcing change, it's about making space for it. Think about a garden. If the soil is overcrowded with weeds, no matter how much sunlight or rain comes, the flowers won't have room to bloom. Your life works the same way. You can chase opportunities, seek new relationships, even try to reinvent yourself. But if you're still carrying the old stories, the old wounds, the old patterns, there's no space for the new to take root. So, where do you begin? You begin by acknowledging what needs to be released. Not with anger, not with frustration, but with acceptance. Some chapters must close, not because they were bad, but because they have fulfilled their purpose. A season that lingers too long disrupts the natural order of things, and just as the moon knows when to wane, you too must learn when to surrender. Start small. What thoughts do you repeat to yourself every day? Are they lifting you or keeping you stuck? What habits have you outgrown, but still cling to out of routine? What relationships feel more like obligations than genuine connections? This is the time to ask yourself the hard questions, not to create guilt, but to create clarity. And when the answers come, don't resist them. Sit with them. Let them reveal what they need to. Some truths may be uncomfortable, but discomfort is not your enemy. It is your guide. It is the sign that you are at the edge of something greater, something freer, something real. Imagine standing in front of a door that has always been locked. You've tried to open it before, but fear held you back. Fear of what's on the other side. Fear of stepping into the unknown. But what if this time the key is in your hand? What if all you have to do is turn it? The last quarter moon isn't here to push you. It's here to remind you. That door you're afraid to walk through. It leads to the life you've been waiting for. The weight you've been carrying. It was never meant to be yours forever. The change you've been avoiding. It's the very thing that will set you free. Take a deep breath. This is your moment. Not to run, not to force, but to choose. To trust that whatever is falling away is making room for something far greater. To believe that endings are never just endings, but beginnings in disguise. Are you ready to turn the key? The key is in your hand, but only you can decide to turn it. That choice, though it may seem small, is everything. Because the moment you choose to release what no longer aligns with your soul, you shift the entire trajectory of your life. You step out of stagnation and into flow, out of resistance and into alignment. And once you taste that freedom, you'll wonder why you ever clung so tightly to what was never meant to stay. But letting go isn't just about the grand gestures. It's about the small, quiet choices you make every day. It's choosing not to replay the same painful memories. It's deciding that your worth isn't tied to what others think of you. It's stepping away from conversations that drain you, environments that stifle you, and patterns that keep you trapped in cycles of self-doubt. And yet the hardest part of letting go isn't the act itself. It's the space that comes after, the emptiness, the quiet. That moment when you stand in the aftermath of release and wonder. What now? Most people fear that space. They rush to fill it with distractions, with new relationships, with anything that keeps them from feeling the depth of the void. But what if the void isn't something to fear? What if it's the very thing that holds your next breakthrough? Think about the sky before sunrise. There is a deep, almost unsettling stillness, a moment when the darkness feels like it will never lift. But then, slowly, silently, the first light begins to emerge. The world doesn't force the sun to rise. It simply allows it. And that is the secret to transformation. Allowing. Allow yourself to grieve what you're leaving behind, but do not mistake grief for regret. Allow yourself to feel the uncertainty of new beginnings, but do not confuse uncertainty with failure. You are not lost. You are in the space between the past and the future, between who you were and who you are becoming. And in this space, every possibility exists. So what will you do with it? Will you resist the change, clinging to the familiar, even as it drains you? Or will you step into the unknown with an open heart, trusting that the universe is guiding you exactly where you need to be? Because that's the thing about the last quarter moon. It doesn't ask for blind faith. It asks for trust in yourself. Trust that you are strong enough to let go. Trust that you are wise enough to recognize when a chapter has reached its end. Trust that the emptiness is not the end of the story, but the blank page where a new story begins. And when the fear creeps in, and it will, remind yourself, endings are not losses. They are invitations to grow, to expand, to become the person you were always meant to be. So stand in this moment, right here, right now. Feel the weight lifting. Feel the space opening. Feel the quiet certainty that despite the uncertainty, you are exactly where you need to be. The only thing left to do now is begin. Beginnings don't always arrive with fanfare. Sometimes they come in the form of a quiet realization, a moment when you exhale and finally understand that you don't have to carry the past with you anymore. Other times, they come as a sudden shift, a door closing so abruptly that you have no choice but to move forward. However they arrive, one thing is certain: they are always disguised as endings. And this is where you stand now, on the edge of something new. You may not see it yet. You may still feel the lingering pull of what was, the urge to reach back for the familiar. But deep down, something in you knows you cannot stay where you have been. You have outgrown the version of yourself that once found comfort in this place. So take a breath. Feel the weight of the past, loosening its grip. It doesn't mean the memories disappear. It doesn't mean the lessons are lost. It simply means you no longer have to carry them as burdens. They have served their purpose. They have shaped you. And now they can rest. The last quarter moon isn't asking you to have all the answers. It's simply asking you to trust the process, to trust yourself, to trust that the universe is not taking anything from you, it is clearing the path for something greater. And when you step forward, even if your steps are small, even if they are uncertain, know this: you are moving in the right direction, because you are moving toward yourself, toward the life you are meant to live, toward the version of you that has been waiting on the other side of fear. The past was a chapter. The future is unwritten. And in this moment, with this breath, you hold the pen. So, what will you create? There comes a moment when the choice is no longer avoidable. A moment when standing still is more painful than stepping forward. When the weight of the past becomes unbearable, and the only way to breathe freely again is to let go. This is that moment. The last quarter moon is not just a phase in the sky. It is a call, a cosmic signal that something within you is ready to shift. It is the whisper in your soul that says, it's time. Time to release. Time to trust. Time to move toward the life you know you are meant to live. And yet, you hesitate, because stepping into the unknown is terrifying. The mind craves certainty, even if that certainty keeps you trapped. It would rather hold on to old wounds than risk the discomfort of healing. It would rather replay the same patterns than face the challenge of rewriting them. But you did not come this far to be ruled by fear. Think about the caterpillar. It spends its days crawling, confined to the earth, unaware that transformation is written in its very being. Then comes the cocoon, the darkness, the complete unraveling of everything it once was. It does not resist this process, though it is painful. It does not fight the dissolution of its former self. It surrenders. And because it surrenders, it is reborn. You, too, are in that space, the in-between, the place where the old is crumbling and the new has yet to take form. And just like the caterpillar, you have a choice. Resist the transformation and remain as you are, or surrender and allow yourself to become something greater than you ever imagined. But here's the truth. Transformation is not passive. It is not simply waiting for things to change. It is an act of courage, a conscious decision to shed the layers that no longer fit, to step out of the cocoon, even before you fully understand what awaits on the other side. So ask yourself, what am I still clinging to? A past version of yourself that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. A relationship that drains you rather than nurtures you. A story you've told yourself about your worth, your abilities, your destiny, and then ask, who would I be if I finally let go? Would you be lighter, freer? Would you finally take the risks you've been afraid of? Would you speak your truth without fear of judgment? Would you trust that you are enough exactly as you are? This is your turning point, the place where you stop waiting for a sign and realize the sign has always been within you. The moon's cycles, the universe's whispers, the deep knowing in your gut, they have all been leading you here. So here is your challenge. Let go. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now let go of the fear that says you are not ready. Let go of the guilt that keeps you bound to the past. Let go of the illusion that you must have everything figured out before you take the first step. Because the truth is, the path reveals itself only when you start walking. The last quarter moon is your gateway, a moment of release, of surrender, of stepping into the unknown with open hands and an open heart. Take a deep breath. Feel the shift. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The moment is here, not next week, not when you feel ready, not when the fear disappears. Now the last quarter moon has arrived as a cosmic checkpoint, urging you to pause, reflect, and release what no longer serves you. This isn't just another lunar phase, it's a turning point, a final call before the next cycle begins. You can either hold onto the old patterns, the old doubts, the old weight that has kept you stuck, or you can step into the energy of release and prepare yourself for what's coming. Because make no mistake, something is coming. A shift, a new chapter, a door that will only open when you are willing to let go of the one behind you. You've felt it, haven't you? That quiet knowing deep inside that certain things can't continue the way they have been. Maybe it's a relationship that no longer aligns with your soul's growth. Maybe it's a habit that keeps you small, preventing you from becoming the version of yourself you dream of. Maybe it's the fear of change itself, keeping you locked in a cycle of waiting for a better time, a clearer sign, a perfect plan. But what if the only thing standing between you and transformation is the belief that you need to be ready? What if the only thing stopping you is you? The truth is, life does not wait. Energy moves with or without you. The moon will continue its cycles. The tides will rise and fall, and the universe will keep evolving. The question is, will you evolve with it? This moment is your invitation to release, to realign, to trust. The last quarter moon is a reminder that endings are not punishments. They are not losses. They are the sacred space where rebirth begins. And now, it's time for you to take action. In the comments below, share one thing you are releasing with this last quarter moon. Whether it's a habit, a limiting belief, or a relationship that no longer nurtures your spirit, speak it into existence. There is power in acknowledgement. There is transformation in declaration. And if this message resonated with you, if you felt the call deep in your soul, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. There is more to come. The next phase is approaching, and you'll want to be prepared for what's ahead. Because this isn't the end of the journey, it's just the beginning. The new moon is on the horizon, and with it, a wave of fresh energy that will shape the next steps of your path. Are you ready for what's next? Stay tuned. The power of the last quarter moon is not only in the release, but in the rebirth that follows. It's in that quiet, potent moment when you choose to step into your true potential, unburdened by the weight of what's holding you back. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know exactly what the future holds. What matters is that you take that first step with faith, courage, and trust in yourself. As you prepare for this shift, know that you are never alone in this journey. The cosmos is supporting you every step of the way. The stars, the moon, and the universe are constantly guiding you, gently nudging you forward as you move through your own process of transformation. Your soul's purpose has been written into the stars, and now is the time for you to align with it. You may not see the full picture yet, and that's okay. Trust that every moment of discomfort, every challenge, and every release is part of the grand design. It's part of your story unfolding, one chapter at a time. Now, before you leave this space, ask yourself, how will you embrace this transformation? What is one action you can take today that will align you with your highest potential? Because it all starts with a single step, and you are ready. Once again, don't forget to leave a comment. Share your experience, your reflections, or your commitment to change. This community is here to support one another. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the upcoming cosmic shifts and transformative messages. We are in this together. And remember, as the last quarter moon fades, the new moon will rise. A new beginning is on the horizon. Are you ready for what comes next? Stay tuned, because the journey has only just begun.